We live in the company of people, surrounded on a daily basis, or to practice solitude and learn how to ghost people. Which one is the better approach as far as life is concerned? That is the question I would like to consider in this particular video. You don't want to miss this one. Dimitri here. Let's get right into it. A few years ago, an accomplished actor out of Europe had to get into character for a project. And he said to himself, in order for me to really understand what it is like to experience the final moments of life, I need to go put myself in a box. I need to go spend a few minutes. I said, why not a few hours in this box that we all are going to be buried in, the coffin. So he goes and immerses himself in that environment, and they close the lid, and they decide to spend a few hours inside. By the time he came out, he said that was one of the most interesting moments of his life. Why? Because he was finally able to understand something that you will not really understand if you just living your life like you normally do. He said he came to realize that this is it. Most of us come here on our own. Those of us were not born twins or triplet. And for most of us, we get to be put in a coffin on our own. As a matter of fact, most funeral homes in most respectable countries will not dare to put two bodies in one coffin. So the rule is to always put one body within one coffin. He says, so we are all going to exit this place on our own. So this is just a revelation that he had. He says, my goodness. So that means that I'm surrounded. But at one point or the other, I'm going to have to go on my own. I'm going to have to cross into the next life on my own. I'm going to have to answer to God on my own. I'm not going to have the company of someone holding me by the hand and say, let's go together. That was just the first thing. And the second thing I would like to mention is practicing solitude. Because in that moment that happened, this gentleman came to say to himself, oh my goodness, in order for me to really get to the next level and to really deliver all that I was called to deliver, I need to learn how to practice this thing called solitude. In order for me to deliver the best performance as far as this project is concerned and as far as every other project is concerned, I need to learn to practice solitude. And that's just the foundation I wanted to share with you very quickly. So before we get into a comparison, let me now give you just 3 examples that support basically this need to realize that you're going to exit on your own. Number 2, and therefore you have to learn to practice solitude in order for you to deliver the most outstanding performance that you alone are able to deliver as far as your life project is concerned. 3 examples. 1795. In 1795, there was a young officer, barely 26 years old, who found himself falling in love with a woman who was about 6 years older, by the name of Marie-Joseph. And this young officer by the name of Napoleon Bonaparte. As the two of them meet and fall in love with one another, they realize that yes, love is a project. And whatever they wanted to achieve as far as life is concerned was completely up to them. So they say, Because everything seemed to be completely going haywire as far as this country is concerned and the future of this country is concerned. So this is basically a country where anybody can rise to the top. So how about we sit down and learn to practice solitude and focus on who we want to be? So they started actually moving away from the crowds to focus on the project. And they say, we have to rise all the way to the top. You have to become the head of state as far as this country is concerned. That's Marie-Joseph talking to the young Napoleon Bonaparte. He says, yes, I'm going to be the head of state as far as this country is concerned. But you too, you're going to have to be next to me. But I'm not going to allow you to become next to me with this name, Marie-Joseph Rose Tacherie de la Pagerie. No, we have to change your name. We're going to start calling you Josephine. You're going to be my Josephine. And that was in 1795. They learned to practice solitude. They learned how to focus on who they were. And within 9 years, they rose all the way to the top and they became crowned emperor and empress of France in 1804. And the rest is history. But if you think that the story is simply going to end there, no, it does not. In 1814, the unthinkable happened. Napoleon Bonaparte, after a few miscalculations in Russia, found himself now in Paris, besieged and surrounded by a group of people. The European nation telling Napoleon Bonaparte in no uncertain terms, you have now to be deposed. And you're going to go to exile. And this is the only option. You have to abdicate. And he does that and shipped off to the island known as Elba with his mother, Laetitia Ramolino Bonaparte. And as they go there, Napoleon Bonaparte for the first few days is actually busy doing things to actually keep himself busy. But after that, he becomes depressed. And his sister goes talk to him. It doesn't really work out. And the mother goes talk to him. And here's the gist of what the mother told the young man. At one point or the other, you have to realize that you are surrounded. Yeah, that's fine. You had a court of people attending to you, that's fine. And some of them even came to exile with you, that's fine. But as far as your life is concerned, as far as the exit is concerned, you're going to exit this plane on your own. So therefore, don't lose the plot. Remember who you are. So don't be distracted by what is around you, but focus on yourself. Ghost these people and start thinking in terms of who you are and give us again a taste of this greatness that was buried deep within you. And that is how Napoleon Bonaparte eventually, in February 1815, decided to now escape and march back onto Paris, and the rest is history. Now, before I start talking about the need to actually practice solitude, let me just give you just another story. I'm going to just stop right there. In 2010, this acclaimed movie maker by the name of Steven Spielberg, the one who put together amazing movies such as E.T. back in the early 1980s, he had a project in his hands. The project was to make a movie for Abraham Linclon. So he goes around and starts looking for actors who could actually fit the persona of Abraham Lincoln. And eventually he laid his eyes on a giant by the name of Daniel Day-Lewis. He goes talk to Daniel Day-Lewis, and Daniel Day-Lewis simply says to him, yeah, I can consider this project. It seems like a very fantastic opportunity for me to grow to become this magnificent character that used to be known as Abraham Lincoln. But I'm not going to agree to shooting right away. Spielberg said, but what do you mean? He said, no, I need about 365 days to morph into Abraham Lincoln. So, between when they met and October 17, 2011, the men simply went into a place where he learned how to practice solitude, and he learned how to now become one with the character of Abraham Lincoln. And by the time they start shooting on October 17, 2011, they realized that they were not shooting a movie with Daniel Day-Lewis, but now they were shooting a movie with a gentleman who came and imposed his persona and stature as always the tallest person in the room. They were shooting a movie now with Abraham Lincoln himself, because Daniel Day-Lewis, simply through solitude and focus, managed to morph into that particular my goodness, character known as Abraham Lincoln. I'm gonna stop right here. If you've been enjoying this video, please make sure to share it with as many people as possible. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that next time we put together a video, you can be amongst the first one to see it. Alright, now back to our presentation. Now, as far as the question is concerned, which is better, to be surrounded or to simply learn how to practice solitude and to focus on yourself? I think the answer is pretty obvious. I can be bold to say that about 70 to 80% of the people around you have absolutely nothing to do with who you are. They are simply wasting your time. And they are wasting your potential. And before you know it, you're going to come face to face with this box known as the coffin. And you're going to realize that you are wasting your time, wasting your potential with the wrong crowd. Let me just park it right now. Let me just go back to the assignment as far as you are concerned. So for the next few days, all I'm going to simply ask you to is simply the following. For every single day, over the next 365 days, like Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm simply going to ask you to select a particular time slot in your agenda, where you're going to simply say to yourself, this is a non-cancelable, a non-negotiable appointment with myself. Every single day at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to go there and work on myself. And what are you going to do this time? Simply do the following. Go there to work on yourself and simply ask yourself the key question. Again, what is the assignment? Or otherwise, who are you? Because once you know who you are, it will simply shift something in your brain, shift something in your heart to know exactly what you're going to do. Because once you know who you are, the doing is going to become easier, because you're going to know exactly what to do. And once you know what to do, the third thing that you're going to have to do is spend a great time breaking it into detail as to what exactly you are going to do for the day, for the week, for the month, for the quarter, and for the year. And see how this progressive exercise, 1 hour on a daily basis, non-cancelable, non-negotiable appointment with yourself, is going now to start yielding amazing results when it comes to shifting something within you and giving you now the result that you so deserve as far as the significant man or woman that you are deep within. And as you're doing that, my friend, the only one thing I'm going to ask you to do is simply spend time on paper. Study yourself. Study yourself. One of the greatest reasons why Napoleon Bonaparte was able to shoot all the way to the top is because he started taking the time to really study himself. And as he was doing that, he came to discover the giant that he himself didn't know was deep within him. As Daniel Day-Lewis started studying himself to become Abraham Lincoln, he realized that, my goodness, yes, I am, after all, Abraham Lincoln. I am a giant within my generation. And this is how he came to deliver this absolutely outstanding performance that landed him another Oscar in 2012. All right. About 12 years ago. So now back to you. So again, the assignment is to focus on yourself. Who are you? What are you called to do? And now back again, study yourself. Study yourself on a daily basis, 1 hour every single day, and see how slowly but surely you're going to transform yourself into this magnificent work of art that you were so designed to be. All right, have yourself a powerful day. The best is yet to come. But not for the best to be manifesting, you have to be intense professional when it comes to manifesting this measure of significance that you carry deep with you. Flip the switch and slowly but surely start becoming the man, the woman you were so designed to be, and to start doing exactly what you were called to do, and study yourself so you can actually polish everything about this particular persona that the world has to remember as the greatest in your field. And by the time your time is come and you have to be put in a coffin, people are simply going to come with flower to simply say, my goodness, so and so came and deliver an absolutely outstanding performance. Much love. Take good care. I'm out.